well, it's been a while since I've done one of these little videos. So I feel like I've just been doing a lot of self-explanatory. Been doing a lot of easy, non-complicated shit. So we got the floors down, fiberglass up to here. I can't remember where I left the last video off at. Don't mind the AC unit going off. Thing's always running whenever I'm trying to video. Got this floor back here screwed in. I meant to take some pictures of it when I was doing it, but I had some leftover pieces of this Nautical 25 Coosa board that I had put some 1708 on the back side. Let me get it in the camera there. And I basically just cut these to length in between the stringers here. These red lines are the stringers. And then I just glassed them in on the bottom side and then screwed them in. So when you step on this seam here, the floors move together. So there's 4 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 across the side. This area back here, it's right beside the little lip that I left since the deck's raised up. So not worried about that. It's not moving at all. And then I put screws right in the middle along the stringers as well, and along the back side also. I think it turned out pretty well. My previous intention of building these stringers 1/8 of an inch taller progressively from the outboard to the inboard created a nice little curve on the back of the deck here. So hopefully if this thing ever gets water on it, it'll roll back to where I'm going to put the scuppers in back here instead of sitting in the middle of the boat, or you know, if it's on a trailer, sitting in the yard or whatnot. Kind of botched up the hole back here where this plumbing is running through. I made it a little bit bigger, but I had to fit that 22.5 street flange in here. So with that being said, now I'm going to have to extend out this bracket that I'm going to put in here. So now the board is going to run like right around here all the way across. And I just got a nice piece of fiberglass that I plan on making a live well out of. So it'll just kind of arch out a little bit here, and I'll have a big nice live well cooler or whatever I'll end up doing with it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happened. I don't know if I covered this front area up here at all when I boxed all this in. This is where the main storage is going to be. Again, I used the Total Bilge paint on this area because there's going to be life jackets and just whatever stuff thrown in here. I didn't paint all the way up there because I ran out, so I've got to get a little bit more. But all the water is going to roll towards the back, and I'm going to install some drains on each side once I figure out where all the water likes to accumulate. The issue I was having was when I built this, I was trying to maximize the amount of storage I had under here, and I did a double layer of the Nautical 15 3/4 inch. So I've got an 1.5 inch thick bulkhead here and an 1.5 inch thick bulkhead up there. Just wasn't enough strength with this one center stringer running along. The floor was just super sloppy, super springy, and I felt like no matter how much glass I put on top of it, whether it was 2 layers of 1208 or 2 layers of 17 or mixed match of the both, it just wasn't going to provide the structure that I wanted. So a friend of mine said, well, why don't you go to the scrap yard and pick up some stainless steel channel, or square tube, whatever this is, and run it along the bottom of the floor. So I said that was a great idea. I don't have to build another stringer to get in the way. I still keep all the storage. It's only 1.5 inches tall. So I cut it down, drilled some holes, and then we're gonna cut this. You know, I knew it was a good idea that I, you know, put 2 layers of the Nautical 15 in here, because now I can notch this down here, or more like that. She can be notched down and recessed into the stringer, and I've still got the support all around it. And I drilled these bolt holes here, and I got 3.5 inch or 4 inch long, 4 inch long lags that I'm gonna drill through the floor, through this with a washer, and it'll just help keep it plain. And then I'll probably put 1 screw up there, but really, like, this is just for structural rigidity on the floor. I'm gonna run it in the middle here, and it's just gonna provide me some extra strength up under here while still maximizing the amount of storage space under here. I mean, I can't put anything super tall in it, but you know, life jackets or bags or blankets or whatever, you know, fish. I just wanted to have enough storage space to keep stuff out of the weather. So next I've got to cut out the door for it that I have. And that's going to be a task because I have no idea how to build a hatch, or at least the support for it. But yeah, so I just got all these holes drilled. This is really hard to drill through. I went through like 4 or 5 bits. So that was fun. Then I got some stainless self-tappers and I'm going to run through the floor. Probably, I think I'm just going to do one in the middle because it's going to be screwed in to this middle stringer, screwed in all along here, wherever I can. Probably not screwed in over there just because there's not much lip. I don't want to put it through the side of the boat, but it's going to be glassed in. It's not going to go anywhere. So that is where we're at today. It's New Year's Eve, last day of 2021. I was hoping to have this boat done by the end of the year, but here we are. Always takes longer than planned. So yeah, I'm gonna go start cutting them. Take that oscillating multi-tool here, and this thing's got a round bit on. I'm gonna see what I can do with it. Notch it out in here on this inside board, and just see if I can get it to work well with what I got. So, and then I'm gonna go party because it's New Year's Eve and I don't want to be working on the boat all day. What do you think of that, Maisel? Well, it's another great day at the Backyard Ghetto Boat Works workshop. We had some snow in Virginia. Everyone lost their mind. Shut down the interstate for like 2 days somewhere up in Fredericksburg. Here in Gloucester, we got like 4 inches of snow and everyone still managed to lose their minds. The tent that you see here decided to also collapse under the weight of the snow because I guess you just don't make them like they used to. It buckled just about every single support on the top here and the legs that go around. So I spent yesterday bending them back as straight as I could get, and it'll probably collapse under the next good rain we have or the next wind, and I'll be out of the workshop. And the boat's still not going to be done by then, so I'll tackle that when I get there. The hatch that was on this boat, and measured it, got it centered. I don't know if you can see it in the chalk lines here, but that's where it's going to go. That is the plan, at least. I decided to scoot it farther up. It actually worked out well to where it's 12 inches between this bulkhead here and this bulkhead here, so that hatch is going to sit perfectly in the middle. I also didn't want the hatch to be backed all the way up to that back bulkhead, so whenever you step up here, you're stepping right onto the hatch. It's not going to be as strong as the floor, and I figured anyone like stepping up for their first step is going to put more force on it. So once you're already up here, you can walk on it, it'll be fine. But I just didn't want that repetitive, constant, you know, first step on the hatch, possibly wearing anything out later on, at least throughout my ownership or the next person who owns this boat. So I moved it up a foot. I am an 11.5, which is almost about a foot, I guess. I did some test fitting, and I pretty much just took my foot up here and acted as if I was stepping, and I'm going to step right here, and I'm still not going to touch the hatch. So, or if I do, I'll touch a little bit of the hatch, but all my weight's not going to go right on the hatch for the first initial step up here. So that was part of my decision to go that way. Also, so this is the hatch I was talking about. It's got this big L, whatever it is. I don't know if it's metal in there or what. Pretty stiff, pretty heavy. And then it's 1.5 inches tall, and it's got this lip on the inside here. So I've been messing around with some ideas for Coosa. I've got let me set you down, get you all squared up. So this here, let's pretend this is the floor up there on that step up I just built. The only way I got it to work was to stack 3 pieces of Coosa. And I know I'm losing 1.5 inches around here, but I figured if I keep 2 inches on the inside and then have a 2-inch overlap on the outside, I can get it to fit down in there and be flush with the floor while also maintaining some support under the hatch. And of course this will be screwed together, glass together. I'm gonna have to figure something out to make it look pretty. Well, not look pretty, but actually be functional and sturdy to where no one's gonna like step on it. It's gonna go through the floor. And then I decided to make another piece here, 3/4 of an inch, which is also this distance between the bottom of the hatch and this lip. And that is strictly just for channeling water outside of the storage that I built. I didn't want like any water splashing over the bow or just washing it down. There's going to be holes installed up there for it to drain those two compartments, but I didn't want that direct access to it for water coming in on the deck and then going right into this little gap here where the hatch is, and then going into the storage area in case I want to keep anything dry in there. This way it'll at least, you know, I've got 3/4 of an inch here water that I can build up, and I'm gonna figure something out on how to drain it out of there later. Not my concern right now, but I don't know if this is gonna work or not. That's a lot of shit going on there. The good thing is I've got a lot of scrap Coosa and I can definitely make this work. Okay, well, when I left here yesterday, I thought I was making great progress. It turns out it wasn't so great. So I went through the whole stainless supports that I had installed right behind me under this piece of deck. I mentioned that I had, you know, not measured the distance in between each piece of the square tubing, and then it just so happened that they fit within the support of this hatch, which is right here. This is what I was referring to. Is that little piece, the support piece under there. Previously, the stainless tubing sat right here, and it's only 1.5 inches wide. This is 1 3/4 inches, so laid in here perfectly. The only issue with that is I didn't take into consideration that this entire lid is 1.5 inches deep, and I'm working with 3/4 inch Coosa board. So yeah, I'm dumb. I didn't think of that. I guess it was a rookie mistake. Oh. So I had to go and completely pull out those pieces of stainless that I put in the front and move them out 2 3/4 of an inch on both sides so that the hatch can clear them. In addition, that little jig that I made that will be the inside frame of this hatch has to be, there's 1 inch overlap. Probably easier to show you. I don't have it on me, the jig that I made. Get this out of the way. By the way, this door probably weighs about, I would say 40 pounds. I have a 40-pound dumbbell down there that I've been using to hold down Coosa when I cut it. And this door is every bit of that 40 pounds. Completely ridiculous. Super sturdy though. Yeah. It's like I had to reuse it. Like I can't just throw this away or sell it. Like I want to incorporate the old boat into this thing. So having to refabricate everything. So back to what I was saying. When I am going to design the bracing that's going to go underneath this lip here, I'm going to have a 1 inch wide by 3/4 inch deep piece of Coosa trim that will follow this whole outside area. I'm going to cut this stringer down, as you can see I already did right here, 3 inches. I'm going to cut it down 3 inches over here, and then I'm going to have a 3 inch wide piece of trim of Coosa that is going to be the bottom brace where this lip right here is going to rest on. Now it's 1.5 inches down, so I'm going to have to stack, like I said, a piece of Coosa here and then have another piece of Coosa under it to create that 1.5 inches. So there's going to be a total of 3 inches of Coosa under here. It's really gonna screw up my storage plans, but whatever, I gotta do it. The only reason I'm doing that is because I want a rain gutter or a water gutter to prevent water from going in here as much as possible. I needed at least an inch back here so I can securely fit it without hitting the stainless bar. So I did 1.25 inches on the outside of each corner over. So now this the stainless square tubing is 1.25 inches over. So I have 1 inch and then 1/4 of an inch for security, per se, is my security deposit, or my tuition, so I don't screw anything up, or if I want to put 1.25 inch piece around there. I'm going to be taking this deck out and building the frame from scratch. I'm going to use the majority of what was in here to build like the inside rain gutter, and just use it use whatever I can wherever I can to make it work. So ultimately there's only, well, I lied, there's going to be a total of 3 inches down here, but it's going to be no deeper than this. That was the reason why I had to push it out. So there's going to be a lip down to here and about 1 inch in, 1 inch smaller. So I'll still have plenty of storage space. I'm not entirely concerned about this. And this is going to get another coat of paint because I've completely screwed it up. It looked really good, but it was a very thin coat of the total bilge, and it is not very good now. So I'm going to order another quart of that will do. I'm going to call it a night. Go drink a beer. Go relax. It's supposed to snow again tonight apparently, or rain somewhere, so we'll see if this old tarp makes it through another rain, ice, sleet storm or whatever. If it falls tomorrow, it's really gonna hurt my feelings.